Hello, 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 hello. Where's my mic? Check, check. Check 1, 2, 3. I think it looks good. I think it looks great. Hello, hello. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. I am, of course, Fanable. Welcome to my stream. Welcome to my channel. Happy Thursday? Is it Thursday? Happy Thursday. One more day till the weekend. Almost there. Almost there. And we are here, of course, to continue more Quantum Break. Quantum Break, with the goal to beat the game, at least the first playthrough of it, with the decisions that we have made. We're going to be jumping into Act 5, which should be the last act of the game. We'll see how long it is. And then we'll have to decide whether or not we want to go back through and play it again. Albeit it'll probably be a shorter playthrough if we do decide to do that. To see the alternate options that you can pick from with the episodes and the decisions and all that stuff. We'll have to see. We will have to see. But yeah, today, straightforward. Continuing right off the back of Act 4. A whole bunch of stuff happened in Act 4. Saw the death of Beth. At least I think we did. Granted, we were playing as Jack Joyce, and he like propelled himself into the future, and so he was basically seeing an echo of Paul killing Beth in the past. So I think we saw her die, but then again, he was watching an echo, so who knows? Who knows? So, yeah. We also watched in the episode where Charlie had gotten into the lifeboat, and then he's helping out. I guess he's suddenly had a change of opinion. He seemed like the squirmy weasel of the story, but he does seem to have, like, I thought he must have been up to something, but no, at least in our version of the story, from the choices we picked, he seems to be wanting to actually genuinely help out to get Jack the CFR, the countermeasure device made by Will. And basically we watched Liam showing up. Liam basically believing that the countermeasure would be what would keep his wife safe in the lifeboat. I don't know what decision he's coming to ultimately, because Charlie's telling him, like, Jack can use it and he can then save all of us. But then Hatch showed up and he ended up fighting them. He ended up fighting Liam, but as far as that we can tell, Liam killed Hatch. That surely can't be, though, right? Not with what we know about the other games. Assuming that he is a door or an entity of door or some kind of alternate door. I don't know. But then again, we don't know how that's technically supposed to be working in the Remedy universe. What would the disconnect from this game and the rest of the games? But in a very brutal scene, Liam fought Door and killed him by stabbing him right in the eyeball. It was pretty gruesome. And then Liam suited up in one of the suits, and it looks like he is trying to guard the countermeasure. So it does seem like it's playing out based on the decision that we made in the previous junction with Paul, that Jack is going to have to confront Liam to get at the countermeasure. That's what we're assuming anyways. That's what can be assumed. We'll see. But we're going to jump right back into it here. We're going to jump right back in and start Act 5. Try to get it so it plays a recap of Part 4. Let's see if we can do that. But again, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Happy Thursday. Don't forget to hit that like button if you have not yet already. I very, very much appreciate it. Subscribe, share, all of the good things. Let's get started. Let's go.
Previously on Quantum Break. I'll take the laptop to the science department.
No, I think I'll do that myself.
Will built a way to stop the fracture. We're traveling to the past to retrieve it. You can help us get there faster. A woman approached me, told me she was from the future. Jack, that woman.
It was you.
This is it.
Hey, wait! Where is she?
I had no choice.
Beth? What happened to you?
I'm not wrong.
You can't.
No!
So, what you did next? It wasn't personal?
Yeah. And so kind of like we predicted too, there's the paradoxical loop where they apparently created Ground Zero by having the CFR countermeasure drop on the ground.
To be a disaster area, and while authorities and relief workers from Monarch are redoubling their efforts,
Gets set off.
everybody's working at capacity. And
Time was
reports
broken.
coming from all across
Working out of sync. The city was in a state of chaos. The end of time was closing in.
And you still believed you could fix it?
The solution was inside Monarch Tower. A countermeasure.
The CFR, as Monarch knew it. The key to the lifeboat protocol. Monarch's survival plan. But that didn't seem to matter to you.
I had a better plan.
I mean, from the interview, it makes it sound like he didn't succeed.
Okay.
So, I don't remember if it said exactly when the interview was taking place at the beginning of the game. But, yeah. It's making me think we gotta continue playing as soon as we get caught up to the interview here. Surely he's not just sitting in the lifeboat, but maybe he is. He might be. We got drones over here. Look at that drone right there. Is that just a... Oh, wait, I see wires. Okay, never mind. I thought it was a drone paused. Oh my gosh.
Christ!
That is a train that's paused, though. How many points do we have right now that I have not spent? We got 2. Only 2. And it's not possible to obtain every power, I'm assuming, because we did miss at least a couple Cronin points closer to the beginning of the game. Sadly, I don't think we can even buy anything at this point. Yeah, everything's too expensive. Oh.
Where they keep the countermeasure. Shouldn't be too hard to find. It's the biggest damn building in Riverport.
Hello, Riverport. This is Teresa Sedmak. As I am sure you are aware, things are very chaotic right now all over Riverport and in the rest of the world. There's an epidemic of collisions of some kind happening. Car accidents, air collisions, all eerily similar to the Port Donnelly bridge crash we experienced earlier, where nobody seems to see these accidents coming until they happen. I personally witnessed a car slamming into 3 people, a family as they were crossing the street, and I do not know where that car came from. The street was clear, and suddenly the situation is being addressed by Monarch Solutions, who are responding to the crisis by... I can't do this. This isn't worth it. They didn't tell me it would be like this. They knew, didn't they? Those sons of bitches knew, and the way that they were talking, I'm sorry. I have to go. I can't stay here. I have to go home.
Jack? I hope you can hear me.
Fiona?
Fiona.
Is that you?
Yes. I wasn't sure if I could make this work. Listen, the CFR, it's not easy to reach, but you can access it from Serene's office. A friend of mine has unlocked the CFR chamber, but the rest of the place is still in lockdown. I think I could help you with that. Like this.
I guess you can.
Serene isn't in the building anymore, so maybe you don't have to run into him.
All right.
Welcome to the international headquarters of Monarch Solutions. This state-of-the-art building has become world famous for its unique architecture and its iconic presence in the Riverport skyline. Incorporating an unprecedented level of automation designed with both comfort and security in mind, complete with a zero-carbon footprint, the building provides a safe and environmentally friendly workplace for thousands of Monarch employees. Monarch Solutions. All we think about is the future.
Zero carbon footprint. Well, in that case, I'm sure you're all cool.
Buildings in lockdown. The hell's that even mean?
Poor bastard doesn't know anything about the train crash. Hope he doesn't have a heart attack when time resumes.
That's the same guy. That's the guy that I was wondering if it was Audie or not. Sadly, it's not. That would have been fun, though. That would have been a really fun little detail if they had him in this. Especially if, like, you didn't pay any mind to it at all. It was just some random janitor.
Mr. Hatch! I thought you... They said you're dead.
They are confused about a great many things.
What?
I have a little job for you.
But I mean, I'm not sure I should.
What? Monarch flunky.
You are still working for me.
Yes, of course. Whatever you say, Mr. Hatch.
What did this happen, though?
Right. Paul's office.
Monarch radio note. Won't work in stutters. Radio waves get stuck, same as everything else. Use stutter-proofed hardline terminals instead.
Alright, how am I getting to Paul's office?
From Luther to Pablo. Hey Pablo, I think it's getting close. You better get your ass to a stutter-proofed area. I still can't believe this is real, but you've seen what it's like out there. Half the world's going to shit. Just glad we're here. We're in here. I don't know how it's all going to play out, but at least this way we get a chance. Maybe we can fix things later. I bet those science guys can work it out, right? And hey, if you see that Jack Joyce asshole, just run, dude, okay? I was talking to Clarice, and I didn't realize it before. I thought he was just sneaky or lucky or something, but I saw some battle reports from the field, and he's just a machine. Effort just shoots his way through everything we throw his way. I know this place is safe, but I figure he'll show up sooner or later. I heard he's got some personal beef with Serene. So when he comes, you better stay out of his way and let the Jarheads handle it. If they can. If Joyce is coming after Serene, he's going to be pretty mad when he finds out the boss took a chopper out. You hear anything about that? What the F was that about? So it could get pretty ugly. See you when the dust clears, I guess. Stay safe, man. I mean, I would think... Is it not widespread knowledge that Paul can go through stutters and none of this stuff affects him or anything? He is one of the few people that could stay outside. And then obviously you'd have all the people in their suits that could also be outside, even if the end of time hits. Yeah, I wish that was incorporated into more games. I really like games that every once in a while you'll get somebody that's scared of the protagonist. Or, you know, because you would think like they would spread. This person is killing everybody. Everybody. That you would have to get one or two people to be like, oh, hell no, I'm out of there. I'm not dealing with this.
I really don't want to go outside. The world's just gone crazy.
There's no way for them to understand what's happening. Must be scary.
From Clarice to the Monarch HQ Cronin active personnel. Attention, the lifeboat security protocols are now in full effect. Our stutter proofing has failed and we have reports of shifters in the building. You all know the drill, we have trained for this. Do not approach shifters alone. Remember that they are not restricted by the physical space in the same way we are. Deploy dampeners and watch your backs. Work in teams. Remember your tactics. Maintain your distance. Don't take any unnecessary chances. We still haven't come across a shifter yet, have we? What's a shifter then? Are we going to finally run into one? Because at this point, since we've not actually had to fight them, I've started to theorize whether or not shifters are actually dangerous. Right, I'm going like, are they you? Are they someone else from the future? Are they echoes? Are they people stuck in time loops like Dr. Kim, who's just trying to communicate? That's what I'm wondering, because we still haven't encountered any in like a fight. Comms are unreliable due to the stutters, so pass the word to others and take advantage of stutter collapses to communicate as effectively as you can. We are attempting to repair the stutter proofing as quickly as possible, but be advised that contrary to our earlier timeline, which gave us years more to prepare, we believe we are now on the verge of the final zero state. And every single stutter we encounter is more and more likely to be the one that never ends. That means our priorities have changed. The lifeboat protocol is in full effect, and ensuring its success is our only objective. Whether the opposition is Shifters, Jack Joyce, or anybody else, it's vital that we all remember our training. If we do things right, we will make it out of this, and we will make our way to the lifeboat. Good luck, and make me proud. Not to mention, last we know, Hatch freed Dr. Kim. So I'm feeling like we've got to encounter Dr. Kim at some point. Are we hearing them screaming right now? Just constant screaming? I don't know. I can't tell if that's them or not.
What's going on here? Thought I'd run into organized resistance.
Monarch shifted gears. There's this survival program. You're either in it or you're
what?
out of it. So everybody's just scrambling, and Serene's acting weird. Nobody knows what's going on. Everybody's just waiting for it all to end. But you're gonna keep that from happening, right?
Sorry, I only kind of half listened because I only just now noticed all these guys falling down. I didn't do this. I'm pretty sure I didn't do this. Who are all these guys? Why do they look like they're falling off the building? And their suits clearly broke before they fell off the building. Otherwise, they would have made it down to the bottom. Interesting.
I was getting closer to the countermeasure. Paul had the key to fixing the fracture all along, but he didn't see it.
There was nothing to see. He believed the fracture couldn't be fixed. That's why he used the countermeasure, the CFR, to create the lifeboat.
Whoa, 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 whoa. What is happening? Maybe we're about to encounter the Shifters. Because something is fighting all these guys right now. Oh, nope. Alright. Yeah, the Shifters definitely do damage. Wait, is that Hatch? Oh, I think that's Hatch.
Damn.
Well, see, I think you were gone by the time the episode played. So, we had seen them, like, taking Hatch away in the visions. 4 guys, like, him in custody. In the episode, they went into an elevator, and when the elevator opened, all 4 of the men were dead, and Hatch just walked out and left. If that is Hatch, then yeah, obviously, because this is after we saw Liam supposedly killing him. So that actually makes it more interesting if Hatch is could Hatch be a shifter that's more in... like more capable in what he's able to do and control? Because when he released Dr. Kim, gosh, what did he say? He said something like, "It's time for you to be able to be released and go back to your kind," or something like that, or to the others. I don't remember the exact line.
Those men died fighting something that lives outside of time.
The very reason our weapons program was built. Serene knew they were coming.
Weapons weren't doing the trick.
I mean, that totally looked like Hatch to me, though. It did not just look like some weird entity. It looked like Hatch phasing in and out. Alright, what guns are we running? Assault rifle. What is this? Tactical SMGs. From Paul to the security team leads. Martin Hatch has been detained, and his authority over Monarch Solutions and its employees, along with security clearance, has been rescinded. I want a full security team watching at all times. He's not to be given access to any computer systems or communications. Don't talk to him, and don't allow him to talk to anybody. Lock him down and keep him locked down. If he attempts to escape, shoot to kill. I'll deal with him when I'm done with present crisis. Like, even if we didn't know that it was possible that Hatch was Door, I mean, obviously something's been weird about Hatch from the get-go, and we learned that everybody's like, he just showed up and suddenly became, like, employed at Monarch, but nobody knows where he came from, etc., etc.
Fiona, can you get this door open for me?
I think so. Sorry, this isn't quite my forte. I know a guy who would do this in his sleep, but he's about as dependable as... Oh, never mind, that's it. Be careful. You'll have company.
Alright, hold on. They're all looking that direction, which is where we saw everything going down. But they're not coming through. Alright, well, it says clear the enemies. Clear the enemies, so I guess we'll try doing that. Is that it? Just those three? Oh, nope. There's more. What are these guys doing? Oh, what? Whoa.
That's all.
We both had the same thought at the same time. Uh-oh. Oh, that's not good.
Is that all you got?
Stop moving that way.
Gotta get to the camera later.
I need a backpack. Refill my ammo. Can't get those guns. Ah, get out of the way.
The Monarch PR machine was going strong. public believed that they were doing what the police force couldn't. Protecting them from a terrorist threat. From...
You.
PR protocol. Monarch Solutions responds to tragedy. No public aggression. Coercion, manipulation over violence. I don't know what I'm hearing in the background there. Hopefully nothing that's coming at us. Contain, bury, spin everything. Friendly, safe authority. Control mayor. Riverport PD. Monarch assisting the authorities. Deploy SEDMAC for media control. Remove Radford. Manufacture terrorist threat. Jack Joyce. Jack Joyce should be a clear later addition on the board. Info warfare. See Charlie Wincott for details. Flood social networks, media sites with new narrative. Drown out legitimate reports with flood of conflicting accounts. Paint troublemakers as bleeding heart extremists. Obtain critical mass. Useful idiots will take over trolling. Oh, there's a backpack. And a heavy pistol.
You told me that Hatch had Paul's full support. I saw otherwise.
There was a temporary misunderstanding.
From Vera to Alim? Did you hear that Hatch is out? I don't know exactly what went down, but Holden from Acquisition says Hatch did something to really piss off Serene. Maybe something that involved blowing something up on the island? I don't know, and frankly, I don't know if Holden did either. It all sounds pretty crazy even by Monarch standards. Anyways, Holden says Hatch got escorted out of his office by a whole bunch of armed security guards. I mean, that wasn't a security "we'll escort you out of the building" situation. Holden says it was for real. So I guess that guy's done. Good riddance. Maybe now we can get some work done without him Darth Vadering the crap out of us. That guy's always creeped me out. Oh, and I had another thing too. You were right. Dr. I don't know why I started reading ahead. You were right. Dr. Amaral came back. I was sure Joyce would just kill her, but nope. She made it back alive. Anyway, glad I was wrong about that one. She's cool, people. She picked a good time to come back too. Things are getting really bad outside. It's really starting to dawn on me we're really lucky to be in here. Instead of stuck out there in all the craziness. They said there's planes coming down from the sky now. Crazy. Let me know you're okay. V. So yeah, are they doing the new treatments? Sophia, Amaral, and Paul? I don't know how quickly she can like come up with new batches or not.
Fiona.
So yeah, where did he go? He was coming through right here.
Skybridge. You're in marketing right now. That's okay.
But he obviously didn't come through here.
Hey, Jack. Be careful. There's something really weird going on in this building.
You think?
Monarch was scrambling. Paul's empire was falling apart all around me. I'd never seen anything like it. But Paul had. That's what he was preparing for all those years. He didn't do a very good job.
Pretty sure they didn't even scratch that thing.
This is crazy.
Holy shit.
Yeah, where did he go though? From Bruce Livingstone. Oh no, really? Another follow-up with Bruce? To Sophia Amaral. Hey Sophia, still haven't heard from you about my screenplay. I know you're busy with all your work, but this is really taking off in a big way, so let's try to get going on this, okay? I know this thing is going to be huge, so I just went ahead and mortgaged my house to make this thing a reality. It's my dream, and I'm going to follow my dream. And once I get the Kickstarter going, this thing's going to pay me back for the mortgage, so no problem. I already shot a short promo thing for the KS campaign. Let me know what you think. I'm going to star in it, but I've got a really cool part for you, too, if you want it. You'd be perfect for it. Also, like I said, I'm going to need that science feedback stuff soon. Let me know ASAP. Poor Bruce. What? Oh my gosh, he actually made a video. Oh, is that it? Just a little intro. Time stabbed. Is that what it's called? Time stabbed? Time stabbed? Time to kill.
They have a time machine here? Shit. This is where they brought the university core. This is Paul's machine. Looks like they have it on the top floor.
Like paperweight with note. Ensure personally that CFR chamber is secure. Right. Didn't seem very secure. I mean, if we're talking about in the episode, there's like nobody watching it at all. From Bernard to Paul. Bernard Riker. Serene, sir, I know you won't have a chance to read this email until you return to the HQ, but I have turned this over in my head repeatedly, and I see no other option than to let you know what I have done. I have deactivated the stutter proofing at the building. I had maintenance access, and I used it. But I want you to know I did it under tremendous duress. Martin Hatch left me no choice. He threatened my family, and I didn't know what else to do. I still don't. I know there are shifters out there, the stutter proofing is gone, and I don't have a Cronin harness, so technically I'm safe. The shifters only exist in stutters, and when one of those hits, I freeze just like the rest of the world. So whatever happens during the stutter, I'm safe, barring some kind of desynchronization related accident. Is that true? Why would that be true? You would think like people could still, people who were able to move around in the stutter would be able to affect anybody just chilling. I guess we don't know for a fact. What that means, though, is that one eye blink, I'm here, and the next one, there's 2 dead strikers on the floor. Dead because of me. Their blood all over me from nowhere. I'm looking at them right now, typing this on my phone. I can smell the blood, and I don't know. Ozone, I guess, and smoke. Their gears sparking. They'd be alive if I hadn't... I'm sorry, I think I'm hyperventilating. I don't know if I can hold it together much longer. I don't know why Hatch wanted this to happen, but he did. I think he wants the CFR for some reason. You can't trust that effort, sir. I know you're close, but I think he's as evil as they come. I'm so sorry, sir. I'm not making excuses. I know I effed up. I don't know how to deal with this. I have always respected your drive and dedication. You have no idea. But I don't have those things. I'm just an engineer. This is just too much for me. If you come back and fix things, please look after my family. They didn't have anything to do with this. I'm just curious, though. I mean, if Hatch is able to do this, I don't know why... Why would he, like, time out getting stabbed by Liam? You know? You would think, like, it just wouldn't be able to happen. There's the shifter. What? Oh, was that just lucky that the stutter stopped right then? It might have been.
What the fuck was that thing? The train.
All personnel, stay clear of the lower levels. There's a possible hazard. Repeat, stay clear of the lower levels. There appears to be a train crashed into the building. The situation is under control. All personnel should remain in secure areas. There are intruders in the building. Repeat, remain in secured areas.
Can't go in here. I mean, if Hatch is some powerful shifter, I wonder what he wants with the
You're at Serene's office.
with the countermeasure.
Just a second, this one's a little tricky. Serene's got access to the CFR chamber, and there's going to be a pretty dangerous guy there guarding. Got it. Just be careful, okay?
Unless the countermeasure is like the one thing that can endanger him. I suppose if obviously the countermeasure is being used to run the lifeboat, and he wants the end of time to happen.
Paul's already gone, but he left behind the one thing I needed.
Untitled note. I left this message here for you to find so that soon when the time comes I ask you to choose. You can do with your eyes open. You can do so with your eyes open and with some hint of understanding. I have no secrets, and the only thing I choose to omit are the ones that you, in your current limited state, would not be able to grasp, no matter how hard I tried to make you understand. I have walked down the same path you are on now, once from your perspective a long time ago, although time no longer has such meaning to me. I too came into contact with a time machine. In my case, it was not a man-made device, but a natural one in a cave. It should come as no surprise, really, that such things exist, much like natural nuclear reactors do exist, such as the now defunct ones at Oklo, Africa. After all, the Meyer-Joyce field has its irregularities. I too became Chronon active, I too developed Cronin syndrome, and in time I too lost control and became a shifter. Became at once everything and nothing, was everywhere and nowhere. Died countless deaths and was still alive, my every probability, every possibility happening at once. I promise I would not lie, and thus I tell you, the noise and the pain and the rage were more than anyone could suffer and not go insane. I burned in this fire for a long time. There were brief moments of awareness, and in this endless nightmare, different versions of certain key moments in my life that I found myself reliving again and again, trying to make things right like a puzzle, on and on and on. I'm convinced that the stutters at the end of time saved me, for those were the only places, the only times where I could even briefly stop and rest and slowly find my focus and control again, and ultimately master this state, not emerge from it, not be cured, not go back to what I was before, for there is no such thing, but to learn to be in one place and everywhere at once. My perception is altered like that of someone who has seen a perceptual illusion and discovered that the picture of both a young girl and an old woman at the same time. Once you see them both, you can never not see them. We are such limited beings. We play with just one piece, on just one square, on an endless chessboard, just one life, one timeline, in an infinite multiverse of possibilities. Am I an exception? The only one who has found his way to the other side? Or is this just a shifter's brief dream before a stutter collapses? There are other shifters, you, your best friend, who is now your mortal enemy, Dr. Kim, others, some of whom you know. It doesn't matter who, because they are gone, and when they emerge, if they ever emerge, they will not be who they were, just as I am not who I was before. I have done my part in helping you all achieve this state. If time is an ocean with a frozen surface, then the stutters and then the end of time are holes in that ice, opportunities to come up for air. I have a plan, it's already in motion, but it would be futile to try to explain it to you, like trying to explain 3 dimensions to someone who can only see one. But make no mistake, I do not look down on you. I strive for humility even as I shift this world from one state to another. I will make this possible. I stand in between. I don't see myself as a gate. I remain humble. I'm something smaller, a hatch. Does that imply that this is a note from Hatch? I don't know. That's weird. Am I about to enter a gigantic room? There's something that looks like I left behind, but it might be in the room coming up.
My office alarm went off. Is that you skulking around, Jack?
Fuck you. I'm done playing games. I'm here for what you stole.
Yes, of course.
The CFR. If you understood just how much depended on that, you'd leave it alone. But I know you don't care.
You're right. I don't. And it looks like you're not here to stop me.
Yes. Yes, everything will play out as it has to play out. I'll see you very soon, Jack.
I'm done dancing your tune, you crazy bastard. That was just a couple of minutes between stutters.
The countermeasure was Paul's prize. Everything he'd built was based on Will's device. His plan depended on it. You better believe I look forward to taking it from him.
Only one of Serene's treatments survived the explosion. His time was running out.
So was everybody else's.
This is a long email chain. To Paul from Sophia. October 7th. Paul, we now have finalized the plans for acquiring and transporting the Time Machine core from the university lab. Your instructions are quite clear. We won't actually move in until your younger self has entered the machine. And the men will try to take the Joyces alive, with the understanding that Jack Joyce in particular could be a threat, and neither can be allowed to escape under any circumstances. I'm still quite uncomfortable with all this, Paul. I understand your reasoning, and I know the stakes are high, but I don't want anybody hurt. It's antithetical to my role as a scientist, and I wish you'd reconsider. Surely there's a better way to resolve this. Moral implications aside, the loss of Dr. Joyce's expertise alone would be a great blow. If anything goes smoothly and quietly, we will transport the core directly to the Monarch Tower via ground route. If there's commotion and it seems there's any risk of detection, we will instead airlift the core to our dry docks operation and then move it discreetly from there to the HQ. The construction of the new time machine frame at the top of the Monarch Tower has been finished since last year. Once we have received the core, it will be installed into the time machine per your orders. I know you don't intend to use it, but even with the limitations the nature of time travel imposes on us, I have to say it seems like a great waste to not take advantage of such a resource, both from a strategic and scientific point of view. Next day. Sophia, I understand why you would feel that way, but this isn't something I take lightly. It's my experience that time travel only complicates things, and while my own trip through time has given us great opportunities, it's also set me on this path. I want to control it, not use it. That said, I want to have the machine ready to use for emergencies. My foreknowledge of future events will end very soon, and it might prove to be useful to have the option of obtaining more detailed information from the future. Obviously, given that the furthest you could have go back is the machine's activation at the university, visiting the past seems fairly useless. Also ensure that the machine is heavily guarded at all times. Nobody is allowed to operate the machine besides myself, and I want the corridor to remain undeployed unless I give specific orders to the contrary. As for the Joyce brothers, I intend to give William the option of joining us, if possible, but I know him. He's a very stubborn and unstable man, and I don't know if we could ever trust him. I don't need to remind you that he built in that ridiculous little workshop with very limited resources a device that broke the local physics at ground zero and caused my Cronin syndrome. I don't intend to give him a chance to show us what else he could do if he decides that we're a target. That, along with the visions I have seen, there are certain sentimental reasons that make me wish I could let William live, but I doubt that he makes it possible for us. As for Jack, I'm not too worried about him. It took me a long time to master my abilities, so Jack shouldn't be a major problem unless he manages to use stutters to escape the area. Luckily, stutters should be very rare in these early stages of the fracture. Still, I've come too far to take any chances. I prefer to take him alive, but nothing can be allowed to put our plan at risk. I'm sorry to have to involve you in something like this. I know it's not what you signed up for, and as I said, I don't expect you to be personally involved with the part of the operation in any way. I'm not particularly happy about this part myself, and I wish I had better options. But our circumstances are as they are, and I have come too far to falter now. I hope you understand. MP, welcome back. Happy Thursday. Welcome. Later that day. Paul, yes, of course, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to add to your burden, and I know that these are hard decisions. You can count on us to proceed as planned. I know you're exceptionally busy now with the time is almost upon us, but I was hoping you'd have time for dinner. Oh my gosh, MB. Yes, always a good friendly reminder. Don't forget to hit that like button if you haven't yet already. Be like MP, hit that like button. And of course, subscribe if you'd like to be notified of future streams. Thank you. Sophia, please update me on our progress with the Time Machine Core relocation. Where are we with this? Thank you. He didn't email her back until almost 24 hours later, and he completely ignored her request for dinner. Paul, don't worry about it. We're on schedule. Your Time Machine Core from the university has been transported to the HQ, and it's currently being installed into the new Time Machine frame we built for it. You'll have direct access to it from the CFR chamber as requested, and no, before you ask, you can't actually access the CFR chamber from the Time Machine. That elevator can only be activated from within the chamber, so no one working on the machine can get to the CFR. I thought you'd appreciate that layer of added security. I know how important it is to keep the CFR safe. Anyway, I know you don't actually intend to use the time machine, but should you ever need it, all we need to do is deploy the corridor. It's actually all hooked up now, but we're still running some final diagnostics. The tech should be ready with it before the gala's over. We can do at least one upgrade now.
Alright, that's it. Paul spent a long time running Monarch in secret. It probably didn't help with that whole disconnected from reality thing.
Reflections on the end. I wish my memories about the end of time were clear, but it was anything but a clear time in my life. The world was such a jumble, a frozen mess of different timelines crashing together. I was running for my life the whole time, trying to avoid the shifters. Not an ideal state of mind for gathering intel. And it didn't help that she kept chasing me, trying to kill me. Beth Wilder, one of my own people, it was her all along. Even then, trapped in the end of time, as little as I understood about what was going on, I could tell she wasn't like me, that she didn't have the powers I did. I knew she had some kind of technology that kept her going in that suspended L. Is this considered a plot hole? If you go to the end of time and you're the only one moving around, with the exception of maybe Beth, and there's these shifters running around, if you're the only one that's ever encountered them, how do you know that they're a danger to you? You've not been able to witness them cause harm to anybody else. I would consider that kind of a plot hole, because basically unless you're just being scared of anything that you find unusual and out of the ordinary, which would be everything, at the end of time, you couldn't possibly know that the shifters, other than them maybe making freaky sounds, are actually any real danger to you. Because, yeah, he wouldn't have anything to compare it to. Like, maybe if somebody else had come with him, like, other than Beth, maybe somebody else with a device or something, and he was able to actually witness the shifters killing them. Because I was wondering that up until this act where we finally got to see the shifters killing a whole bunch of dudes. A shifter, at least. Is it Kim? Is it Hatch? I still think it looked like Hatch. But I don't know. Kim's also running around somewhere too, I'm assuming. And it didn't help that she kept chasing me, trying to kill me. Beth Wilder, one of my own people. It was her all along. Even then, trapped in the end of time, as little as I understood about what was going on, I could tell she wasn't like me. Oh, I already read that, didn't I? Yeah, she had some kind of device on her back, which I had forgotten about. Of course, I had no idea it was the device I would eventually have my people develop. I suppose I should appreciate the irony that it was her Cronin harness, my own Cronin harness, that it gave me the idea for the Lifeboat Protocol. The idea that our technology could let humanity survive the end of time. I suppose I have to thank her for that. And she paid for her sins in the end, but she left her mark on me. I know the time to pay for mine is approaching quickly, but not just yet. Back then, when Wilder and I played our game of cat and mouse at the end of time, if I'd had an ounce of control over my powers that I do now, things would have turned out very differently between the two of us. She was strong and had the training. I was young and weak and scared. Even though my abilities gave me an edge, I was lucky she didn't have the full striker gear. She was the one with the upper hand. I didn't learn to properly control my abilities until much later. In those days, they were unpredictable and operated on instinct. Control didn't come easy. I can't help but be aware that this doesn't seem to be the case for Jack. His mastery is growing by leaps and bounds. Is it just because that's the way he's always been, fast on his feet, bold and adaptive? Or is the fracture affecting him too? I thought we could contain him. It's cost us dearly. It's not a mistake I will make again. Well, that's what I was kind of... Honestly, that would have been intriguing to me. It would have been intriguing to me if it turned out the shifters were just simply misunderstood. That's what I was pondering at first, because my first thought was, if it was just Paul and Beth at the end of time, and they both survived, so unless they encountered a situation where a shifter actually caused them harm and pain, neither of them clearly died. So I was wondering if it was a situation where maybe the shifters were just scary, but it was actually maybe people trying to talk to them or communicate with them. And I guess that's still possible. There could be some shifters that maybe that's who they are. It could be just that there's some shifters that are bad, causing harm like the one we've seen around this building. But then there might be some shifters that, you know, are just people that have been trapped in that state. It's an alligator, isn't it? It's a bloody alligator. We don't even need to watch it. We know it's an alligator.
17 years, he lived through twice. All of it mapped out, from memory.
He knew the market trends before they occurred. He had the tools to make a fortune, and he did.
'21 was the end of time. We came and we lived through it. But I mean, that's already not really how this is planning out, right? Fracture begins. At least as far as Paul knows of what he wrote out. It's not going exactly how Paul thought it was going to go. which is kind of weird. If he was at the end of time in 2021, yeah, I don't know. That just makes it seem like he made a lot of assumptions. From Sophia to Paul Serene and Martin Hatch. Paul, Martin, I know you've both been arguing with the quantum ripple causality. Research Subdivision has great potential and we should keep it funded. I must once again implore you to reconsider. I'll be the first to admit that the technology is impressive. The fact that Doctors Morphin and Rangers can actually track the consequences rippling out from minor shifts within the Meyer-Joyce field is incredible, and the level of informational detail they managed to obtain is amazing. But here's the thing. They've been at this for 2 years now, and they have not produced a single useful result. Yes, we can trace actual events from their small inception point to the actual consequences, very much in keeping with the basic chaos theory concept of the butterfly flapping its wings. But, well, so what? Every single thing that happens in this universe is the result of such a chain of events. Being able to see the chain offers no real insight to anything due to the very randomness of the process. Furthermore, it's utterly misleading. You could say that some tiny event or tiny decision in my life yesterday led me to writing this email, and that's technically true, but so did some tiny event or tiny decision in my life 15 years ago. It's all a chain. The event yesterday didn't take place in a vacuum. It didn't come out of nowhere. So what's the point? We have no control over it. We don't get to direct it, and we get no useful information out of it. Also, have you actually seen the reports they generate? From a technological point of view, the way they manage to automate their analysis of the fluctuation signatures within the Meyer-Joyce field is impressive, but again, it's all meaningless babble with no practical applications. Their personal remarks on the reports are even worse. With all due respect to Ron and Terry and their indisputable technical expertise, I don't know what they're doing, and I'm not sure they do either. It's like they're coming up with stuff at random. The above outlines my concerns as the futility of the entire process, and I suspect that may not be enough to sway you, but I have one final point, which I think you should consider very, very carefully. The entire program is an unforgivable waste of Monarch resources. I don't mean money, although the entire quantum ripple causality research subdivision is costing us millions and millions of dollars, but that doesn't really matter because I know we can afford that. However, there's a more vital resource they're consuming. Each time they fire up their rig and delve into the Meyer-Joyce field, they eat up a huge amount of Cronin particles. Those are a finite resource, and as you know, we are projecting that the Ground Zero's yield will rapidly diminish as the fractures take hold, which will happen very soon. You may not understand what the real impact of this is, so let me put it to you in practical terms. Every single time they detect and analyze a quantum ripple, it costs us a week of potential lifeboat runtime, minimum. Given Monarch's primary purpose and the total lack of useful results, I believe that's a luxury we cannot afford. I recommend shutting them down immediately, or at least during the next reorg. We can reallocate their resources to something useful and put Ron and Terry's expertise into great use designing the lifeboat. I'm sure we wouldn't regret putting them to work on that, given their track record of working with Cronin Tech.
Paul told me that he tried to change things. Failed. What he'd seen, it broke him. And I'd seen Beth go down the same path, but Paul... it consumed him.
I never looked at this computer. I guess because the cutscene kicked in. From Paul to Clarice. As you know, I have a mission to embark on, so I'll try to be brief. I have initiated the lifeboat protocol over Martin's objections. Given how things have developed since then, I'm glad I did. I don't fully understand Martin's motives, but it's obvious he's moving against me, and against the entire survival plan itself. I know you have worked closely with him, and I know that this must come as a shock. It's also alarming that in invading capture, Martin took out an entire security team. For an unarmed man who's ostensibly not combat trained, that should be impossible. Obviously, this is highly alarming news. I don't know if he had help or if there's even more to Martin than we have come to suspect. But he's had free reign over this company for a long time, and he's extremely resourceful and persuasive. It's not clear to me who I can trust at this point, but I know I can depend on you. I trust that you will see things through in my absence and ensure the stutter proving stays up. In particular, I would appreciate it if you would ensure that Dr. Amaral stays safe in the lifeboat. She has been through a lot during the past 24 hours, and she still managed to make her way back to us and bring vital intel. Thank you for your loyal service, Clarice. It has always been appreciated. Because, I mean, that's the thing. If Hatch is a shifter, a so-called shifter, then that makes him unique, because all the information we've read makes everybody believe that shifters can only exist within stutters and when time has stood still, but that wouldn't be the case with Hatch, which makes him infinitely more interesting.
Paul was a powerful man, the leader of an empire, but behind the veil, he was a dying man. The signs were clear. Dr. Amaral was the one thing keeping Paul alive, but reading through their exchanges, there was something more than professional going on.
That's not my place to comment on.
Personal notes. I find myself at a loss. We knew that the fracture would arrive. It was clear very quickly that the process was occurring much faster than Paul's projections. His experiences has led us to believe. That was alarming in itself, but there's another concern. With the fracture, Paul's condition seems to be accelerating rapidly. I don't know what to do about either one of these issues. I haven't had a chance to examine Paul properly, and of course he won't consent to any real tests at this point. He won't take the time, not with the situation being as critical as it is. He has to prepare for the gala, to take care of every little stupid thing Martin trots out for him. He won't think of himself at all, and I'm afraid that'll cost us dearly. So I don't know, I'm just speculating, but I believe this acceleration is a reaction to the stutters in time. In Zero State, his wave function is further disrupted by the excessive Chronon energies within his body. Before the university incident, before the fracture, the condition was progressive but controllable. The lack of stutters helped keep it in check. Now it's progressing and is rampant, and I worry that it may reach a critical point soon. We always knew that was a possibility, but all of our projections assumed we would have years, time enough to come up with a cure or a way to stop its progress. Which means there's a very real chance that in the near future, Paul's condition overtakes him. And if he does become a shifter, I don't know what to do about it. We haven't been able to help Dr. Kim. I don't know what we could do for Paul. I don't know what to do. The treatments are still working, but they take a toll on him and their effect is greatly diminished. I'm concerned we may hit a point where he's forced to use them so often that the treatment becomes worse than the condition itself. And yet, I don't see any other options. He will not rest. He insists on doing so much. I know he chafes under his dependence on the treatments. He sees it as a weakness. I'm afraid I may lose him. Why are these boards still orange? Was there something else I could have looked at? I don't know. I already looked at it. Is it just letting us look at it again? I don't understand. I don't know. Alright, well. We'll assume we looked at anything we could look at it. and interrupted that thing. I'd say last chance to walk away, Joyce.
Just one of you. Red. Look, you have to realize you're not going to keep me from the CFR.
Liam. And yeah, man, he's got a bullet hole in him.
For this. Have it your way. Of course he's got one of those fucking things.
We got the dampener in here. Turn it off, or do we gotta defeat Liam? Phantom, welcome back. I don't know if we can get to it. Where is it? Oh, it's right in the middle. I don't think we can do anything with it. Alright, that wasn't too hard. We just destroyed his backpack and that was it.
Don't do it, man. Just stay down. Fuck you. I've got too much writing on this.
Compared to trying to save all of humanity?
Seeing that face put it into perspective. They were all misled, manipulated to believing they were doing what was right, what was necessary.
Liam Burke made his choice.
Liam Burke was an unnecessary casualty, one of way too many.
Casualty? He's not dead. At least not at this point.
The lifeboat revolved around the countermeasure. He knew Will would try to take it back. That's why he was killed. He knew I'd try to do the same eventually.
Clearly, he was right.
Lauren McStevenson, to the lifeboat maintenance. People, because there seems to be a certain lack of clarity about when it's appropriate for someone to enter the CFR chamber and mess with the Cronin field regulator, and because I just had to fire Kevin Janeway because he did the exact thing, let me remind you of the approved CFR procedure. You do not touch the CFR, period. I may touch the CFR because I'm the lead technician in charge of it. Dr. Sophia Amaral may touch the CFR because she's our head of research and she knows what she's doing. Mr. Paul Serene may touch the CFR because he's Paul effing Serene and it's his CFR. This seems like too much wordy. Just say the only people who are permitted to touch it are myself, Serene, and Emerald. Nobody else touches the CFR. On occasion, some enormously lucky individuals who have been personally trained by me and are proven to be very, very dependable and incredibly good at their jobs, who don't have a track record of trying to enter the CFR chamber like paint-huffing imbeciles because they just wanted to take a closer look at it, and who have remembered to bribe the lead technician in charge of the CFR with Tom Waits tickets, may be given written instructions to perform specific procedures on the CFR. That will be such a great honor and a sign of significant degree of trust, and those people should be accorded all professional respect and an appropriate degree of brown-nosing and or passive-aggressive displays of envy by their peers. This is a weird freaking email. Or to put it another way, you do not touch the CFR. Unless you want to join Kevin in the how to stop being an arrogant dumb shit who jeopardized the only hope of a future for the entire human race because his mansplaining ass thought what the CFR really needed was a random dude who knew better self-improvement course down at the unemployment office, which I'm sure is where all believe he was escorted to by those armed men. What? There are no exceptions to this. The entire lifeboat protocol depends on the CFR being present, properly connected, and functioning normally. You do not want to jeopardize this. This is bigger than any of us, and we are not here to F around. This is a really weird email. This email just needed to say, reminder, the only 3 people that are allowed to enter and touch this are myself, Serene, Amaral, and anybody that we have selected personally. Kevin went in there without permission, and he was fired. So unless you want to lose your job, don't go in there. Although this is making it seem like that they're assuming he was fired. Rather, he might have been killed.
They'd stockpiled all the chronon particles from Ground Zero to keep the lifeboat running.
Enough to hopefully last until a proper solution was discovered.
Everyone, please be advised that we are now at a point where lifeboat activation may occur. Accordingly, I have ensured that the preparations are underway for activation. As a part of that, what chronon particle stores still remain at the Ground Zero harvesting? Operations are being moved to the headquarters and placed into the Master Chronon Particle Repository, ready to be placed under the CFR's control. Please be aware that what we have managed to accumulate until this point is very likely to be all the chronon particles we have ever had access to. Due to the fracture's effects on the Meyer-Joyce field, the Ground Zero anomaly is showing definite signs of weakening. As a result, the chronon particle yield decreases drastically and will soon drop to baseline. While we will obviously continue more traditional chronon particle harvesting operations in order to maximize our stockpile, we all need to recognize that sourcing them outside to the Ground Zero conditions is extremely inefficient. Or in plain terms, unless we find another source of chronon particles, and I don't believe we will, what we have now is all we will ever have. Please be aware that all use of chronon technology eats into our limited resources, and while we of course recognize that we need to have our strikers and other soldiers operate in stutters, each operation undertaken will eat away at our stockpile and in very real terms cost us days of lifeboat runtime. Accordingly, we have a plan, all use of this technology closely, and choose our battles carefully. That said, we should also realize that ongoing situation with Jack Joyce constitutes an emergency and will most likely require unconventional chronon particle investments. Just the same, we should be aware of the cost. I expect to see projected chronon particle consumption rates for the foreseeable future and simulations of how long our stockpile will last, adjusted for all the scenarios we have discussed. See our last meeting minutes in our next Monday meeting. I wonder how... So wait, how much did they have to be able to keep the lifeboat running? I mean, that does make a lot of a difference. So you wouldn't be able to continually go out endlessly. You have to be super careful about it.
Fiona, I'm at the CFR chamber. Door's locked.
That's way above my access level. But since my friend disabled security earlier, I should be able to do this. Listen, I don't really know what the plan is, but it's all up to you now. Good luck.
So, yeah, Hatch is clearly... Hatch's body is not in here, which means Liam... Then we have to know that Hatch is not dead and got out.
It was like walking into a shrine. This was their holy relic.
There'd been some kind of struggle in the chamber. I didn't know the details. Somebody cleaned it up.
A man named Charlie Wincott. I believe he chose to take a stand. Unfortunately, it ended badly for him.
Mm-hmm. Well, it seems to be that kind of work environment.
Yeah, so this means we can only assume that it was Liam that bagged Wincott here. But Hatch died over here. And obviously he's gone. So unless Liam bagged him up somewhere too. Oh, we located all intel items apparently. We got an achievement for that. Personal notes on the CFR by Dr. Henry Kim. This thing feels like a conundrum wrapped in a puzzle. It's an incredible piece of technology, and I feel like we're only scratching the surface of what it can do. And we have already learned so much. I thought I had good understanding of the intricacies of Cronin particles and their practical applications before. Now I realize that I've still got a great deal to learn. The Cronin field regulator, as I've decided to call it, is a little miracle. How such a small device can do so much is beyond me. I know it taps into the Meyer-Joyce field, but I don't know how. My experiments just show it can do it. I can also manipulate the field. I wish I knew how. Still, the mechanics of its operation gives me ideas, new avenues of thought I've been trying to find for such a long time. The task that I've been set by Mr. Serene has, frankly, stumped me for years. Knowing that what we observe as the passage of time is just the result of Cronin particles being constantly generated within the Meyer-Joyce field is a simple fact that I've been aware of for a long time. But being able to manipulate those particles in a meaningful way, well, that's another question. The mechanics of the situation are clear, almost frustratingly so. In a zero-state environment, there are no Cronin particles, and thus time is frozen. The idea of artificially flooding an area with Cronin particles to enable the passage of time is the obvious solution, but actually finding a way of doing that's something else. Not only are Cronin particles incredibly difficult to source, so obtaining enough to actually stutter-proof an area for any time longer than a fraction of a second has always seemed impossible. Perhaps even more importantly, the mechanism of manipulating the particles in a way that would actually allow me to define a certain volume of space as stuttered-proofed has constantly eluded me. Well, Ground Zero has solved the former problem for us. We're almost up and running, and very soon we will have the ability to harvest Cronin particles at useful rates. We'll be able to build a truly formidable stockpile of them in the years to come. As for the latter problem, manipulating the Cronin particles, that seems to be something the CFR does with ease. Its ability to tap into the Meyer-Joyce field and affect changes in its topology is exactly what I need. Unfortunately, I don't know how it does it. I don't have a clue, and I don't know how to effectively control these effects. But my research into the practical effects of its operation has given me ideas for a different kind of Cronin technology that works on a somewhat similar principle, except instead of tapping into the Meyer-Joyce field, it generates a similar localized field of its own, an artificial Cronin particle field. And within that field, we can manipulate Cronin particles at will. This means that we should be able to create stutter-proofing technology, allowing us to shield a certain area from the effects of zero state. And I believe I will be able to miniaturize the technology to allow for personalized devices with the same effect, almost like an environmental suit of sorts, with a harness the user would wear to create a Cronin field around his body. There are still many challenges here, one of which is that any significant volume of stutter-proofed space will incur an unacceptably high drain on Cronin particles, which are a decidedly limited resource. Obviously, with the lifeboat protocol requiring a large stutter-proofed area that we can maintain for years, quite possibly decades, this is a critical issue we have to solve. And Mr. Serene has made that quite clear to me. Frankly, even with Mr. Hatch backing me, the thought of disappointing Serene over this makes me quite anxious. I understand his concerns, and they are of course entirely founded, but the man's intensity is unnerving. In any case, I'm hopeful that I will figure out this problem soon. I'm hoping to be able to use the CFR itself to regulate the flow of Cronin particles. Given its nature, I suspect it might be imminently suitable for such a role in the Lifeboat project and cut down on our Cronin consumption rate by a great margin. My control over the CFR is limited, but this seems to be a very basic functionality for it, so I'm optimistic that I can do it. I'm still looking into it one thing at a time. We've already made great progress, and I will say that Mr. Serene's been quite complimentary with these successes, so I think he'll give us the time we need. Well, it's not like he has a lot of a choice in the matter. I'll be honest, the CFR is becoming a bit of an obsession for me. I wish I could sit down and have that conversation and just ask those questions. How did he build it? What is it actually for? But I've been denied that opportunity. A part of me wants to open the CFR up and get to the bottom of it, but the potential consequences terrify me. We've already seen what it can do if unleashed. Even worse, there's a possibility that I couldn't put it back together, and just the idea of making a mistake like that is a positively bowel-liquefying thought. Having to explain that to Mr. Serene, no thank you. So as it is, I have only dared to open up a bit of the casing to get a rough idea of some of the engineering side. It's amazing work, and it has certainly been a lesson in humility for me. I still have a lot to learn, but I'm a very fast learner, and this has to be the most important work anyone has ever engaged in the history of humanity. If we succeed in our mission, the world will not soon forget the name Dr. Henry Kim. Couldn't they X-ray it? Did he mention anything about X-raying it? Alright. That's an old note. Just sitting here. There's Cerebral! Cerebral! You've missed so much. We've been playing for an hour and a half. Did you watch last night's episode? A lot happened. A lot happened in Act 4, and last night's episode too, for that matter. And there's Werefox. Welcome back. Happy Thursday. Well, the payoff to Liam standing guard is right here. So as you can see, Liam failed. He was pretty easy to put down, as it were. Now he's just sitting here stuck in the stutter. So yeah, I'm kind of under the belief that I think Hatch is a shifter. We finally saw in this act a shifter in action, and basically during a stutter, whoever it was, the shifter in question, just basically ran around and just completely decimated and killed everybody in its path. And I thought it looked like Hatch. I'm of the belief that it's Hatch, and you can see here, Hatch is obviously not here. Charlie's body's right here, so we can assume Liam wrapped him up. But Hatch's body, nowhere to be found. Yeah. So we were talking about that too. There was some additional notes that we were talking about too, about the fact that it is kind of a plot hole. If it was just Paul and Beth at the end of time, like how could they possibly know of shifters do what they do? Well, we might not get an answer to that, but at the bare minimum, we're now hypothesizing. We saw a shifter definitely kill, like horribly kill, multiple people. But it is still possible that that is just a particular shifter. In this case, it might be Hatch. And obviously Hatch would be some kind of unique shifter in that he's been able to walk around in the physical world. He's not limited to just the stutters. But there could also be good shifters too, for all we know. There could be shifters that have just been simply trying to communicate. We don't know what happened to Dr. Kim. We know that Hatch freed him from his confines, but we have still not encountered Dr. Kim yet. And for all we know, Dr. Kim's a not bad shifter, right? We don't know. We don't know. We just know that there is definitely a bad shifter going around Monarch HQ and killing a lot of people. If you're curious, I guess you could rewind the stream by like a half an hour and you can see the damage that it had done. We basically had to just walk around through Paw's time of just lots and lots of bodies that had been massacred. Alright. But as for right now, we have gotten through Liam. We disabled his device, basically, pushing him back into the stutter. And now we're here at the CFR.
It took 11 years for Will to build the countermeasure. Beth died for it, and I knew it could fix the fracture.
This fucking thing.
Problem was, I didn't have a clue how to use it. The only person who did was dead. But Monarch had a way of getting to him before that ever happened.
The University time machine. They've got the core here.
Unless you go back in time,
Monarch
there's
had
nothing to
built their own
stop
time
you.
machine above the CFR chamber. That's where I needed to go.
You still believed you could go back and save your brother?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, so he's talking about going back to save his brother anyway. But yeah, that would be my first thought is, your brother might be dead. And obviously there's still a chance, I guess, he could save it. We never saw Will's body. So there's still a chance that maybe Will survives if we pause time and get him out of there. But even if that wasn't an option, I mean, yeah, take the time machine and go to a date where Will's alive. Show up and explain to him what's happening. It can be after certain events, as long as you don't know for a fact that you didn't see him, then it's completely plausible.
Paul took the core of the time machine from the university, hooked it up to his own machine. It was part of his sick desire for control, but that gave me one last shot at fixing things. I could go back, maybe get to Will before Paul killed him. And if I could get the countermeasure in Will's hands, maybe I could still turn everything around.
And of course, if it is Hatch that we saw that was a shifter killing everybody, that would easily explain how he easily took down the 4 security that had him in the elevator. Oh, and I found out what these Cronin things do. So we couldn't figure out what they do. Apparently, as long as
Core
there
was set,
is...
the machine was prepped. I had to put the corridor in place.
As long as there's like a manipulated like field in the area, a Cronin field of some kind, you can then like pump it full of a lot of bullets, and that'll cause it to blow up and cause like a micro stutter or something like that. I must have missed that. If it ever told us that, I definitely missed it. So we could try it. There are some... there's got to be a fight going on in here. There's a bunch of explosives all over the place. We could try blowing up one of those Cronin tanks. Cronin particle tanks. Ooh, I will take that. Thank you. Raid. It would have been fun to try. I don't know how useful it ultimately is, but it would have been fun to try knowing that earlier. We'll give it a go. See how easy it is. We've got a few of them in the area. We've got at least 3. Oh no, there's 4. There's actually a bunch. Is there anything else we should be looking at before we do this? I don't see anything. All I'm seeing is explosive things. Lots of explosive things.
Okay, this should do it.
Deploying the corridor. Phase 1 underway. Please clear all personnel.
Oh, whoop, whoop.
Of course.
So I'm morbidly curious to try this. I think that's what you're supposed to do. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna die trying to do this. All right, I don't know. I don't know how to do it. Wait, I've never tried it before. But that was my understanding, is that you can contain it in a bubble and then that would allow you to do this. Oh, yep, there we go. I don't know how helpful that was, causing a micro stutter like that. Well, he'll feel that in a little bit. You too. Let's put some bullets on this guy for when he wakes up. Is that how it works? Did we ever establish if that's how it works? If we can't kill them like that, then we're gonna have to fight all these guys as soon as the stutter ends. Whoop! Hey, big guy.
Thanks for the assaulting Joyce! Gotta move.
Yeah, I didn't do anything to him. That would have been helpful if we could have done it, though. No! We need to go over the edge.
Finally. Seriously? Fine, let's go. Hold it back. Chill. Take down. Take down. Oh, you're welcome. Very slow machine lately.
The machine was ready. I just needed to put in the date.
Can I try it again real quick while we're here? So yeah. So I don't know what it entails for a micro stutter. Is it just a bigger explosion where it stops the people in their place? Like, I wonder if that would only be useful for the people without suits. Like if we were when we were facing the guys, the normal guys. Alright. Sure. There's nothing else we can look at before we head out. I think we're good. Let's do it. More time travel!
The earliest I could go back to was the time that the core was first activated. At the university.
Not much time to rescue your brother.
I didn't have a choice.
You better be as advertised.
Alright, so this is exactly what we are doing. We're going there and we're gonna grab him before that stuff crushes his face. Right? Save Dominic from face crushing. That is our mission.
Targets have escaped the lab. Oh
We didn't get to do any of it.
HQ, we've got an intruder in the lab. Core extraction team is down, over.
All of open fire, but avoid damage to the core at all cost.
Get behind him!
Gotta move.
Okay, that's bulletproof.
Move round!
You serious?
I got there after the fracture initiated. Too late to stop it all before it ever started.
But not too late to save Will. All you had to do was get to him in time.
Yeah? That was the plan.
HQ, we've got security footage of the Joyce brothers escaping through the server room on the lower level.
Raider Team 3, intercept immediately. Ready another extraction unit to remove the core.
God damn, Paul. What is this? Okay, gotta get to the library.
Oh, I hope I didn't leave something behind.
Prowler Team, ready to
Is there a
heavies in the
Cronin point
underground
above
parking.
us that we just left
Not
behind?
hearing any response from Raider Team 3. We may have a situation.
Where the hell is that extraction team? We were supposed to have the core loaded in that chopper by now. Hatch was right.
Oh no, did I leave a Cronin point behind?
Deal with those Joyce.
Restart checkpoint. Please don't put me down at the bottom of the elevator. Oh, perfect. Hold on, let's see. Well, maybe not. Maybe it's up here.
Okay, gotta get to the library.
Yeah. I thought it looked like Hatch. Cleo wasn't so sure. Here it is.
It's locked. Gotta find another way out of here.
We got it. We got 5 points now. I don't have enough points for that one. I think that's the one I want to get next. We'll just
Reach
wait.
Will before it's too late.
Prowler Team, ready to heavies in the underground parking. I'm not hearing any response from Raider Team 3. We may have a situation.
Where the hell is that extraction team? We were supposed to have the core loaded in that chopper by now. Hatch was right. Should have sent Liam Burke in first to deal with those Joyce assholes. Directive was take alive if possible. Alive ain't Burke's calling card. Seriously, where's that goddamn extraction team?
There was also a note. There was also a note that we found that seemingly was written to us. It was untitled, unsigned, and it was from somebody who claims to be a shifter, describing the experience and whatnot. So it ended with being referred to as a Hatch, or feeling like a Hatch. So I'm assuming it was from Hatch. I don't know. But yeah, it was a super long note describing what it's like being a shifter, and that you know there are people you know that are shifters, and yada yada yada. Yeah, I'd have to find that point for you to take a look.
remember that Will and I were heading to the courtyard when the stutter hit. That's where I needed to cut him off.
What have we got here?
I am also still would love the idea that a shifter or one of the shifters turns out to be Jack. I think that'd be awesome. That would and could possibly work with what we saw earlier if Jack as a shifter was taking out all of the personnel to help past Jack, you know? That would be a fun idea. Something we need to do with this, but it doesn't look like we can do it yet. Hey Atai, welcome back. Happy Thursday. Haven't looked at everything yet.
Underground parking. It's gotta be the fastest way there.
So we're now back at the point in time where I guess it doesn't matter. There, we got a dampener right there.
That's my cue.
Whoa. Did he just put a dampener field around him? We kill him? Yeah, we did. Oh, shit! What?
When Will and I had escaped from the lab after the experiment, it seemed like Monarch was dealing with somebody other than us. That was me, all along.
HQ,
Yeah.
It's Joyce.
Bigger 9, what do you mean the striker team is down? How many?
All of them.
Fucking hell, we underestimated him. Take him out, whatever it takes.
Move it! Find it!
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Son of a... HQ, we spotted Jack Joyce in the student lounge.
Ended for that shouldn't be possible. I'm getting reports of gunfire in the underground parking. Are you sure it's Joyce? I need visual confirmation.
Didn't expect
I
to,
mean,
did you?
he could do this all sorts of times. There could be 3 in other areas, as long as he didn't interfere in a place where he knew he didn't interact with himself. I mean, he could go back in time again and help from another point. Something's down there.
Gate control. I don't have the code.
Burke, the hell are you doing down here? I know. Let's go.
What? Obtain the door code.
Burke, the hell are you doing down here?
I need the gate pass code. They need me up there.
Oh. Okay.
Probably because I'm not rocking those ugly astronaut pants. Hatch's orders.
Why are you so quiet? What? Where'd the echo go? Why? What did I do wrong? Why do I have to restart it again? Alright, go.
The hell are you doing down here?
I need the gate pass code. They need me up there. The witnesses.
How come you get all the fun?
Probably because I'm not rocking those ugly astronaut pants. Hatch's orders.
Wait.
665.
We got it.
Beast, you know?
All right.
665. Okay.
Get your team prepped for combat. I don't have.
I'm not done with you yet.
Easy. Paul's serene focused article. Report University employee highlight. With a track record of extremely profitable business ventures behind him, Paul Serene joined Riverport University in 2010 to head one of the most significant physics research projects that the university has ever seen. He is the youngest project director in the history of the university and by far the most successful to date. His involvement has encouraged a flood of high-profile investments that resulted in the extremely ambitious yet unrevealed quantum physics project referred to as Project Promenade. In his own words, "I am not a scientist myself, but thus it may come as a surprise to many that I fought to obtain the position of project director development here at the university. For me, it's a dream to come true. Growing up, my best friend was the brother of renowned quantum physicist William Joyce. I've always been fascinated by William's work, and his publications from 1997 to 1999 were groundbreaking for the scientific community. As a businessman, I've been able to help shape a path to create practical applications for William's work by building on the foundation that he created with a group of immensely talented physicists. That was the basis for Project Promenade, and the results have been absolutely revolutionary. Paul Serene's favorite sports team is the Riverport Rexes." Am I having deja vu? Haven't we already read this? Didn't we read this like at the very beginning of the game?
Alright, rigged up this beast to the campus power. Last time we counted fucking wait to bring the battery.
Good. Whoever's tearing through that parking lot ain't getting out here.
Damn it. Blocking the powers.
Uh-oh. No powers. No powers. Let's turn this off.
Looks like it's plugged in somewhere else. No time to lose. I gotta.
Can't we just destroy it? Can't we just hit it? Can't we just knock it over?
I have to reach Will before it's too late. Electricians, you are not.
Warning, Dampler plugged into power grid. Wade forgot the battery again.
Yeah, this isn't good.
Is this past Jack? Yeah, this is past Jack.
Door's still barred. Whoever's here ain't left yet.
How the fuck did Joyce take out those strikers?
He's obviously not alone. My bet is there's at least 5 of them working together. So keep your eyes peeled. Who's shooting?
That was a neat achievement that just popped up.
Keep shooting!
If I read that achievement right, I think it said...
Okay, gotta get to the library.
What did it say? I think the achievement said that we had stopped time for 1 cumulative hour.
I have to reach Will before it's too late.
Can I not see? I want to see them in order that I unlocked them. Alright, whatever, it's fine. What are these ones? Use time stop to stack a total of 1,000 bullets. We have not done that very much. Deflect a total of 200 bullets with a time shield. I've also not done that very much. I've only been using the time shield as a way to heal myself quickly. We have not been using it for bullet stopping. Alright, anyway.
No time to lose. I gotta get to Will. Shit. Too late. I gotta beat him to the library.
I got orders to patrol the rooftops.
We already got men up there.
And they want more. Take it up with Serene if you disagree.
This is Airlift Prime. We've got the Time Machine Core in transit.
I remember that. We didn't think much of it. We just we just walked away.
Beth.
Save our library.
HQ, we've got William Joyce in the library. Awaiting orders. Over.
Gotta move, Jack.
Roger. Keep a skeleton crew and wait for arrival of Monarch Actual. Everybody else needs to reunite at the Dry Docks Cronin extraction grounds. Wait for further orders there. Library is set to blow in 5 minutes.
We're not getting any response from the sniper unit. Investigating the rooftops as we speak.
Keep me posted.
The whole sniper unit's wiped. No way he did that on his own. We need to find out who's unaccounted for. This might be an inside job. Let's start a list of who's missing. It's him! Joyce is on the roof! He's in the library! We're under fire!
Goddamn story's right. Where is he? I need answers! Where the hell is Joyce?
We need backup in the library! Stat!
HQ, this is Monarch Actual. Cancel that order, I'm on my way. I'll deal with Jack personally.
You heard him. Stand down.
Hold on, Will. I'm almost there.
Backpack's outside.
Okay, gotta get to the library.
If Joyce is in the library, then who they'd... Somebody's here! What?
Stay
Stay
sharp!
He's here!
What? How'd they know I was here? Am I that noisy? Whoa! Jeez. You're all down.
Approaching library rear entrance.
Oh no, no.
Don't worry. Don't worry, Jack. You'll figure it out. You have super speed.
I gotta get down there.
That's what I'm predicting. We may didn't we make a prediction with that in the past? We didn't see his body. We saw a bunch of stuff fall down on him. I'm assuming Jack's just gonna stop time and grab his brother and get out of there.
Stand by to detonate the library. I'm going in.
Fuck. Will?
Nope.
Already gone. Lobby. Lobby, I'm running out of time. Will.
There is. That's why I can't risk you opposing me, Will. It doesn't have to end like this.
How do I get down?
We can't just let this happen.
How do I get down there? Oh. That's not a wall. It's a wooden door.
Trigger. I never wanted this.
Go, Jack, go! Come on, super speed, you've got it. Wah, wah, wah. He has to be like, what?
Jack. You saved me. Welcome back. Hey, Will. Here's a present. Countermeasure.
What? Where were we holding that?
Oh, Jack.
Where are we holding that?
Come on! Come on, let's go! Ah. Monarch had it the whole time. Does it work?
Came back from the future. For me. Fracture wasn't fixed.
Not yet. Does it work?
Theory, yes. We gotta get back to my time machine. Gotta get us back to the time where you came from.
No.
Future.
No.
It's the only
We
way.
need to stop the fracture here, in this time. Now.
Oh, Jack, listen to me. Fracture wasn't fixed in the time where you came from. So fixing it here, it's always gonna fail.
People are going to die, Will. You haven't seen what happens between now and then.
No, but you have. What you have done has set in motion a chain of events that cannot be broken.
Look, we don't know
And
that
if it could be broken, it could jeopardize the entire world. We get one shot at this. There's too much at stake, Jack.
Look, I know the stakes, okay?
Gotta listen to him, Jack.
You gotta let go, Jack.
Listen to him.
Everything you have done to get to this place is necessary. Trust me. The past is set. The future is.
Only based on his knowledge of the past, though. That's the thing. It's only ever based on what knowledge you have of the past. Because I'm still kind of like, did he actually see Beth die? Paul obviously thinks
Save you. I saw you die.
that Beth died.
Think, Jack. You never physically saw me die, did you?
I watched a roof collapse on top of you.
Creating the illusion of my death, yes. Which brought you here to make sure it remained only an illusion. It's all a loop. If time is an egg,
No egg metaphors.
Zigzag. Zigzagging AI. Hold on. Who's this? Ooh.
We have to get out of here and get to the Bradbury.
Wait, what is this that she painted? It's a lot. I don't know. I'm gonna assume Beth died. I mean, we saw her get shot. Paul definitely thinks that he killed her. He was there. Jack wasn't.
Oh, get down. Over here.
Goddamn bloodbath in there. I need some air.
Cleaners better get here quick.
Wait for them to leave. Now, I know it's a lot to take in, but the fact that you managed to save me and yet still maintain the illusion of my death is actually further proof of my point. The past remains intact.
Stick to the plan.
Nothing changes, and the Novikov self-consistency principle prevails.
Oh, great. We can high-five about that later.
The Novikov principle?
Let's save the world first.
Come on, let's meet up with the convoy.
Is the Novikov principle the thing that I implore when it comes to time travel stories? I did not know. Now I want to look that up.
Okay, they're gone. Let's go.
I'm surprised you actually waited. It's almost like you're listening to me.
Well, the last time I didn't listen to you, the fracture occurred. Consider me open to following orders.
That doesn't sound like my brother.
I know.
I like the way that he's described it. The illusion. As long as you've maintained the illusion of what you saw in the past. So like I was saying, all of the time travel rules when it comes to whether or not you can change the past, all hinders on your knowledge of the past and what did and didn't happen. As whatever you think you know for a fact is usually the biggest problem with changing time, or what you perceive as being changed time. Rather, you're not changing time.
There's a door over here.
A perfect example of that would be Prisoner of Azkaban. They think Buckbeak gets its head chopped off.
All right.
But they never actually saw Buckbeak's head got chopped off. What they turned away as they thought it was going to happen, but in reality what actually happened was a pumpkin got chopped in half. Right? Right.
You can't risk helping them.
I know what happens if I don't.
And it'll still happen, Jack. I meant what I said back there. And there are no exceptions. If you get suckered into trying to change what can't be changed, it may cost us everything. Please, Jack. Our future depends on this. You said Monarch had the countermeasure this whole time. How? Why?
Paul was using it to fuel some kind of messed up survival program.
Huh. They must have somehow repurposed it as a localized Chronon field regulator. Dr. Emerald and Dr. Kim
That's
both
exactly
took
what they
positions
did.
at Monarch. Now I think I understand why. We have to go, Jack. We can't risk being spotted here.
Yeah.
Well, you can blame Remedy for putting this Cronin point over here.
There we go.
Who is this? This has got to be somebody important. Somebody look it up. Should I recognize that face?
Beth Wilder who had the countermeasure, keeping it
Oh,
safe.
look, there he is again.
She was the one who warned me, told me to build it.
I know.
You met her. Is she helping us?
She was.
Ah, I see. Come on, this place isn't safe.
Oh. I was like, the original series Star Trek?
We can't stop here.
Alright, let's go.
Oh shit, watch out. Well, hey. Go this way now.
Damn it. Can he pull him out? Didn't he pull him out once before? Like... interesting. Tell her she needs to wear a bulletproof vest. Right? Do a Doc Brown. Do a Doc Brown moment. Unless he shot her in the head. Did he shoot her in the head? I don't remember. Then tell her to wear a bulletproof helmet. That would not work. That wouldn't work. It would have to be something he didn't know about. Alright, we're getting near the end. No idea what's going to happen here. I mean, we've theorized a few different things that could happen at the end. Like whether or not the countermeasure can be used at the end of time rather than the rapture like the original plan was that they were hoping to do. So quiet. So quiet. Such long loading. Final moments for this playthrough, maybe. I think we are going to go ahead and try to replay it in a quick replay through to get all the alternate like episodes and alternate choices.
Look, I know I've kept you in the dark. But when I started my work, you were so young, and afterwards, I always hoped it would all pass you by without touching you.
Yeah. I get it. Come on. Let's just go to the future and fix this mess.
I don't know if we got all the Cronin points
there
in that last part.
It's locked.
You hid the machine here. You really never used it yourself?
No, I didn't dare. Not after the men came out. It was Paul. He tried to kill me.
There's a Cronin point right here. Somewhere? Is it below us? Where is it? Gosh. Can we even go downstairs? Oh. Will actually wants us to go that way. We'll assume that it's downstairs then. Let's go listen to this.
Hey, Night Owls. It's your boy, Bobby. Listen, if anybody's at the protest at the Riverport University, I'd sure love to hear from you. I'm hearing some pretty disturbing things, so give me a call here at the studio. I think we could all use a first-hand account of what's going down. I've actually tried to call some people I know down there, but my calls don't seem to be getting through. Anyway, our lines are open. We'll be right back.
Is that on purpose? I guess it depends on when each thing came out. Was one an ode to the other?
Damn. Rusted shut. Jack, a hand? One more time.
When Monarch came for the time machine at the university, Paul was trapped in it. He escaped into the future. Whatever happened to him there changed him.
Somehow he found my machine there and used it to come back to 1999.
What's in
And
there?
founded Monarch. He escaped from Monarch and became what he escaped from.
Insanity. I never should have built the machine. I should have left well enough alone.
The stutters are gonna get worse fast. And there's something in them.
What do you mean?
I can't even describe it. It was this guy that I've seen, but living distortion.
I'd love to see one.
Believe me, you wouldn't.
We've got 8 points now. I don't know. Maybe we did. I don't know.
Just the way I left it. Hope it still works.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go to the future. A little after your time of departure. Before the fracture stop time permanently. I don't know. I'm a little concerned about this.
It'll be dangerous.
Of course it'll be dangerous. At this point, what isn't? But I have been curious to try this. Wow. So this is what it looks like. Hey, Jack. When we exit, it'll be a little past the point you were at when you left to save me. That's our window, when we know it can work, but before time actually ends for good.
It may not be much of a window. Monarch was sure it was imminent.
Like they're experts.
They kind of are.
All they know they stole from me. You worry about your end, I'll worry about mine.
All right, Will. That works.
I'm perplexed by some of the people we see
All
coming
those
through that
years,
we don't recognize.
I never imagined it would be like this.
Crap. Hang on, Will.
Oh no, we fell.
What the hell did they do? That's my cue. Will, I need to get him moving. We don't have time for this.
So that's good at least. I was curious, like, what would have been happening if they're in the middle of disassembling it. That makes sense that you would still be able to come through. But I guess if this was all gone by the time they showed up, they presumably would have, like, the machine would have just been phased out of existence and they would have fallen down to the bottom of the pool. That would have been awkward.
Better not, Jack. I don't know how Will managed to get here, but forget it.
This is bigger than the two of us. You know time's about to stop for good.
Yes, it is. Hence the lifeboat program.
A bunch of desperate people sitting around in a bunker somewhere waiting for the inevitable? Jesus, Paul.
You stole the CFR, Jack.
I stole it?
And the plan depends on it. So... I'll take that back now, please.
I can't do that.
I know.
What? This is gonna be interesting. What? Is that him right there?
It's vulnerable now.
Maybe get over there then. Can I just shoot him in the head?
That did something.
Shooting him in the head did something? Oh, bloody hell, there's more! They're not coming in. Oh, come on, man. I hate how that it just absorbs into that guy.
Time to move. No, 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 no. Gotta move.
Disappointments, Jack. You're the one that hurts the most.
Whoa!
Now's my chance.
Headshot. Ow. Must have killed him because he's paused now. Yeah.
Hey, look, hey. It's okay. Jack. What? Never mind. Tell me later. We got work to do.
Alright, good night, MP. Farewell.
I'll have to hook up the countermeasure to the core. It's designed to hypersaturate the Maya Joyce field with chronon particles.
And yes, always good friendly reminder, don't forget to hit that like button if you haven't yet already.
Rejuvenate the field. It'll be a universal event.
I'll take your word for it. Just make it happen.
Jack, give me a hand with this.
What do you need?
The countermeasure's charge is low. We'll need a jolt of chronon particles. A jump start. That's you. Don't stop.
What? How is he not dead? Oh man, is he turning into a shifter? That's gotta be it, right? Did he turn into a shifter or something? Oh, something happened to him. He just disappeared.
Countermeasure. It stitched time back together everywhere. The destruction couldn't be undone. The lives we lost were real. But we fixed it.
Jack.
Will.
Clocks kept on ticking.
Come on. Come on. I think we just saved the universe.
Yeah. Where's Paul?
He's dead. He's gone. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Will, he was wrong about everything.
Was he?
Will. The countermeasure worked.
Did it? Maybe do some tests. Check up on some things.
Countermeasure burned out.
So here's the thing. What?
Maya Joyce field should be stable now.
Oh no. What's happening?
Of course, I'll have to run a few tests to confirm. But there's no reason to believe that the fracture isn't over.
Okay, I was gonna say the only not in this is that Paul went to the end of time and it was further in the future.
One more question. Paul Serene's entire philosophy was that time is a set path, and nothing can be changed. At the time, you obviously disagreed. But after everything you've seen and done, we need to know. What do you believe now? Was he right? Or is it possible to change things?
What?
I'll come back for you.
Maybe. Like I said, like do a Doc Brown. But like I said, I'd have to go back and watch the cutscene again. I don't know if it explicitly shows her getting shot in the head. If she got a shot in the chest, then obviously you could do like a Doc Brown situation and tell her like, make sure you're geared up before you get to that point. So yeah, the only pickle is that the only issue is that, assuming that you can't change what happened, I noted it earlier that he started the lifeboat protocol because he believed the end of time was about to happen. Well, that doesn't really add up to the fact that he thought the end of time was happening in 2021. If the end of time happened earlier, then it wouldn't make sense that it would be 2021. I don't know. I mean, I guess it still could possibly be, but it would have been like way down the line 2021, like way after the end of time. But he seemed to be under the impression that is when the end of time was. So they were all talking about like how many more years they still had to prep. So that was the only thing that wasn't adding up. If time can't be changed, then even that should have occurred to Paul. Why is it happening now? He was like, yeah, sure, here's the fracture, but we were supposed to have years more of planning before the end of time actually hit. Well, now we can actually explain that and go, okay, well, as it turned out, the countermeasure prevented, at the very least, we can assume the countermeasure simply prevented the end of time starting at that point. But by all accounts, it's very possible that the end of time is still going to come, but it's not going to come until 2021. 5 years after these events. So they could have explored further into that. I would assume that is probably likely what they were wanting to do at Remedy. They probably were wanting to explore that further, what actually would happen over the course of the next 5 years. And I would say that ending definitely hinted at them probably trying to bring back Beth. Unfortunately, they never got around to making a sequel to this, and they can't make a sequel to this because Microsoft still owns the rights to this game. Which is a real bummer, because I would have loved to have continued this story. This was actually a fantastic time travel story. It worked so well. And then it didn't go the entire way that I thought. I was like going, can the counter measure actually be used? And it won't be used for the fracture, but simply to stop the end of time. But it didn't end up being the 2021 end of time. It ended up being what Paul was thinking was going to be the start of the end of time prematurely back in 2016. And then, sure enough, the countermeasure, they were able to set it off and stop that from happening. But obviously something's still wrong, So yeah, I would say everything is pretty obvious for this, that they were probably going to want to do a sequel. It's going to cover the next 5 years of events. We probably would have seen Paul come back, because obviously we saw that he wasn't dead. Maybe he was turning into a shifter at that point. We saw him phase away after the countermeasure took off. If he did turn into a shifter, that would make sense. If the shifters can only really exist in stutters, then as soon as they activated the countermeasure and there was no more stutter in the area, Paul naturally disappears, right? So, yeah, we could have assumed the sequel would have seen the return of Paul, possibly the return of Beth, and they would have to figure out something else to try to fix the end of time. And that could have been easily enough written in too, because all we know for a fact is end of time happens, Paul sees it in 2021, so they could have figured out some way to fix it after what Paul knew of, because all Paul knew of was what was happening in 2021. He then got chased back to 1999 by Beth. So I mean, they could have had a story where they end up fixing the end of time after that point where Paul left with Beth. I mean, maybe. I mean, I guess we technically don't know what causes. I mean, the fracture still could have been what led to the end of time. They had the ground zero that was caused with a paradox loop by the CFR, by the countermeasure. That is ultimately what caused the ground zero. Then the fracture ended up happening when Paul was testing the time machine. So yeah, something else could have led to the end of time, but I don't know, because if he was gonna go and save her, or he was gonna try to change events, it wouldn't be changing anything. If time can't be changed, then she's been saved, right? If it turns out that he says something to her, or or something else happens where you didn't actually see her die, then that always happened, right? That would be the rules of this time travel story. So she never died. So I don't think he would be going back to save her that would suddenly cause some kind of new event. Because her living is something that would have always happened. So it wouldn't cause something new. That's something that always happened. Now, I guess you could say that maybe something that happened further between them could cause the end of time in 2021. Something would have to lead to the events of the end of time actually happening in 2021. And the only thing that we saw happen in this game was they postponed it, or at the very least they stopped the end of time happening in 2016. But I mean, there's obviously residuals. You saw Jack looking at him phasing in and out. So there's definitely residuals happening as a result of all these events, and it maybe the countermeasure simply delayed it, and that's all it did. It delayed it by 5 years. I don't know. There's a whole lot of stuff they could do with this. I would love for them to be able to get the rights back. I mean, they got the rights for Alan Wake back, and then they ended up going under Epic Games. It would be awesome if they could get the rights back to this, but you would have to assume that they want to spend the extra money to try to get the rights back to this. Does Remedy think this was successful enough? It was critically successful enough, but obviously Microsoft was not happy with the sales from this to the point where I'm assuming that's why Remedy cut ties. It's because they wanted to continue their stories. They ended up bringing Alan Wake, continuing the Alan Wake story. They ended up creating a new property with Control, continuing Beth with the new Jesse Faden. But yeah, I liked this a lot. I really, really liked this story. I might go so, while I think Control did a really, really good job expanding the Remedy connected universe with lots of really fun lore, putting in all this X-Files, SCP type lore into it. And I really enjoyed the gameplay of Control, and I would say the Control's gameplay was superior. I think I liked the story in this way better. This was really, really good storytelling. I would give it top marks overall for the story on this one. That just makes me feel like, yeah, I love Remedy Entertainment, man. They're great. They're great, great, great. Is there anything else? Are we going to get a tag ending or something? Yes, we are.
You've been very patient with us, and very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, well, that patience is starting to wear pretty thin.
Of course.
And who's she working for right now?
Right outside.
It just makes me think Hatch is probably still around. Who's in charge?
Mr. Joyce.
Yep, and there he is. Surprise, surprise.
Finally. Thought you wanted to talk, not get my life story.
Well, you were at the heart of all of this. And you can understand our need to find out exactly what happened.
I heard it's all being pinned on Paul. It's quite the feat.
Paul Serene always danced to his own tune, you know that. He and his delusions did tremendous damage to Monarch, but we can still salvage this company. We could use a man like you. It's not the same Monarch you know, Mr. Joyce. Your exceptional qualities are obvious, and we both know you have certain needs our expertise could help with. We can help each other.
They're teasing a sequel, man. Because that was a junction right there. Accept his offer or turn it down. Bloody teasing us. What the heck, man? Bloody teasing us to a sequel that we never got. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, anything's possible with Remedy. I guess if they really wanted to continue this story badly enough, they could try to reacquire the rights, and maybe we would finally get a follow-up. I don't know how it would be able to be done, though. I mean, because obviously it's now 2024. So do they tell a story on the past? Do they have to shake things up about the whole end of time being 2021 thing? I don't know how they would do it at this point. That would definitely be a problem. So yeah, obviously if I wanted to go back and get like some of the other achievements, I could go back and pick up like the missing intel, Chronon points and stuff like that. There's a bunch of random achievements too. If we wanted to get all the achievements, we would have to go back and start doing like some of the gameplay, like stopping the bullets and things like that. But I do want to watch the alternate episodes and the alternate choices that we can make. Maybe we could go back and try to make sure to pick those up, those missing pieces, while we're doing that. So maybe look out for tomorrow. We might return tomorrow, and do the alternate playthrough and just try to rush through it. Like I said, maybe pick up the missing intel pieces, but then for the most part, obviously we're not going to have to reread everything, so we might be able to breeze through the missions very quickly and just get to the junctions and the alternate choices. But again, really, really liked the game. I liked it a lot. I'm not sure where I would place it amongst the Remedy games. That's really tough. I really, really liked this one a lot. And I would say, honestly, this game, Control, and Alan Wake 2 are on another level when it comes to games for me. In terms of like storytelling, I think they're totally on another level. I really, really like this a lot. I don't even know what score I would give it. It would get at least an 8 out of 10 for me. It's not perfect. There was some technical issues. The gameplay is not completely refined, but I actually really, really liked the gameplay. But I guess I'm a sucker for people with like superpowers. You know, I love Control's gameplay. I love the superpower set that she has in Control, and these powers were pretty different as well, and I like them a lot too. I would love to see Jesse and Jack Joyce like working together with their different power sets. Maybe someday. I don't know. I don't know how any of that's gonna work. I have no idea what Remedy's plans are. I think Control 2 is, I think their current next planned game that they're working on. We'll have to see. But yeah, loved it. Great game. And we're gonna call it there. Like I said, we might return tomorrow to check out the alternate timelines, alternate realities, all that fun stuff. I imagine the ending has got to be pretty much the same, right? Surely? I don't know. I guess we'll wait and see, but I would think like it has to still end with Paul disappearing, Hatch taking over, and yeah, we didn't get an answer for who the shifters are. We don't know what happened to Kim. We can assume that was probably Hatch that we saw killing all the dudes. And probably the note that was written to us was probably Hatch as well. But yeah, like mention of multiple shifters, we didn't get to fight any shifters. We didn't really get to see or try to talk to any of them. It's just another thing that they probably were planning for the sequel that we never got. That's such a bummer. Oh well. But yeah, Thank you for tuning in, guys. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button if you have not yet already. I very, very much appreciate it. Subscribe if you would like to be notified of future streams. And if you are watching this at a later time, thank you for taking the time to do so. And until tomorrow, everybody sleep well, be well, stay chill, stay relaxed. And I hope to see you then. Good night and goodbye.